kill me, don't send me.
I'm not gonna do that.
Please do that, just kill me.
Absolutely.
Welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Julie Grant. It was a dramatic scene when Jordan Henning shot and killed his wife, Ashley, begged police to then kill him. And there's home surveillance video of the shooting. And the jury's about to watch it now. Let's go in together live. This is the buildup. This is where all the tension was happening in that home of the Hennings, Jordan and Ashley Henning. And I really didn't like what I saw there. She was trying to get away from him, went upstairs, and what's he do? He's chasing after her, continuing this fight that culminated in that deadly shooting. I want to get some thoughts from our legal analyst guest this hour. Joining me, criminal defense attorney, professor, and former prosecutor, Franz Borghardt. Franz, could we talk a bit about the buildup, about what's going on here in the house? Judging from what we've seen so far, could anybody have foreseen that this was going to turn into the shooting that we know it did in fact turn into?
So we know that people fight, couples fight regularly. And just because you fight or argue with your partner doesn't mean it's going to lead to a shooting. So foreseeability is difficult, other than the fact that this is an individual that may have a history of violence towards her. But what's really troubling, what's really, really, really disturbing is the fact that the kids were in the house. And that the kids, and in fact, if I'm not mistaken, you see a kid go by at one point.
Yes.
So this is all happening in real time with the kid in the house. Unforeseeable, maybe, but again, not a lot of room for defense on this either. Generally, when a fight escalates to some kind of domestic violence or harm, the only defensible position is either self-defense, or if there's some kind of argument, Julie, that there was some kind of heat of the passion, heat of the moment situation. She is walking away, she is running away, however you want to characterize it. She is getting away from him, trying to, in my mind, de-escalate. He follows her up the stairs. That's problematic for him. Also, what's problematic for him, I think, is the fact that with the kids being in the room, I don't think he's going to garner any sympathy whatsoever, because not only has he murdered her, but he's traumatized the kid for life. So, right. Yeah, some really, really bad stuff.
Right, Franz. He killed the mother of his children. Those children are going to grow up now without their mom and probably without their dad, too, because he's gone away for something, most likely, whether it's murder or manslaughter. And you noted how we did see earlier in this video one of the kids in the video. We know that there are 3 children this couple has together, and one of them did go to a neighbor's house for help, which kind of makes me wonder if that child maybe sensed that something, was going to turn ugly, on this day. I mean, that was ugly. But as you noted, everybody fights. Every couple fights. If anybody says they don't fight, they're lying. It happens. It happens. And it's how you handle those fights and those disagreements and how you move forward respectfully. And so I'm wondering if that child just maybe had his or her spidey senses, going off and felt like today might be a bad day, or maybe dad looks a little more irate than usual. Franz, when it comes to defending this, curious what you think of the defense team's approach. They conceded in opening statements that they're going to ask the jury to convict their client of something, just not murder, something lesser. What do you think about that approach?
So it's a difficult posture to be in as a criminal defense attorney. And look, I say this with the utmost sincerity. I've had those trials where I stand up an opening statement and say, look, he's guilty of something, just not the top charge. To some degree, you're not insulting their intelligence. To some degree, you're giving them this sense of, okay, look, we're not sitting here saying that it's a whodunit. What we're saying is that the state has it wrong as to the charge. Now, on those kind of cases, the client has to be on board. That's number one. The client has to be on board. Number 2, there needs to be some kind of way with a straight face of getting you to that lesser charge. The concession alone is not enough. What you need is, okay, if there's a mental health defect that got us where we are, that needs to be presented. If it was a self-defense scenario, that needs to be presented. If it was I caught her doing something with the milkman, there needs to be some kind of evidence that shows that the top charge doesn't work and that the elements are present for the lesser charge. Now, going back to something you said earlier, which is something that just keeps ringing in my mind, is was the behavior so normalized that the kid knew to go get help?
Right, Franz.
And if that's the case, it's going to be real difficult to get that this was an escalated, like, snapping kind of situation.
A great point, Professor. It's almost like a law school problem, right? Moment by moment, the facts in that house are changing.